Thank you for having me, and it's been a wonderful couple of days, and it is really, really important to have a variety of voices and for us to hear and learn about all the different aspects of science and the challenges so that we can reflect them better and try to aid the aim of sciences. So it's been 155 years now that Nature has been published for the first time. And while a lot has changed and research has changed, the mission of Nature has not changed. So it's still to first serve scientists through prompt publication of significant advances in any branch of science, and to provide forum for the reporting and discussion of news and issues concerning science. And second is to ensure that the results of science are rapidly disseminated to the public throughout the world in a fashion that conveys their significance for knowledge, culture, and daily life. And at Nature, we are professional editors. We don't have an editorial board, and every editor in the team is responsible for an area of research. They are the representative of their communities within Nature, and they champion the voices of their community, and at the same time, they are representative of Nature within the scientific community. And we do a lot of outreach to try and learn and listen to the community and reflect on the needs that we need to be able to report in our journal. So the journal is a primary publication journal, as you know, but also a magazine. So we have our news editors, colleagues who are editorially independent from the primary research. And I am representing here the primary research publication, and I thought I would give you some insight of the challenges that we are facing and also the opportunities we are seeing, and in particular, so the great interest that Nature has in disseminating science that is related to sustainable development goals, to the Anthropocene, and to give a voice to diversity and inclusions in science in general. And artificial intelligence is definitely, or machine learning type primary research is something that we have been seeing increasing more and more. And now we see submissions using this type of technology in every subject of science. We handle manuscripts on new modalities of artificial intelligence or machine learning. We look at analysis and advances in understanding artificial intelligence, improvements in equity and durability and reliability, data hosting and curation issues, industrial applications, robotics. In the social sciences, there is a lot of content that we're seeing reflecting that and how it affects also fake news, for example, compared to properly assessed research. The use of AI also to further sustainable development goals, and of course, every subject, areas of science. So our job is to try and ensure the rigor of science and to amplify rigorous scientists in the world. And we face many challenges, the pace at which artificial intelligence is moving and the constant need to assess the potential biosafety issues that maybe a manuscript could pose, or the underlying data that are used, whether is this giving diligence and importance to voices like indigenous knowledge, how are data used, is it affecting or providing any sort of helicopter research where Western countries are using knowledge that they should not share in that way. And we do reject manuscript because of that, but it's a continuous attempt to progress and do that within a fast-moving field. And so this discussion is really important to me to try and think about ways how we can also help the rigor of science while facing these very difficulties. And maybe another challenge that I should mention is this continuing gap between scientists producing research, who generally are doing the science that they want to do, and understanding really what is the science that is needed by policymakers to act and make a change. And sometimes I wonder whether there is also a need to better train scientists to understand how policy works, and so that the work is more effective and easier to make real-world differences, which might not be always the perspective of the scientists, who tend to, generally, we all tend to think as scientists is the policy makers who do not understand science. But do we really ask the right question that can be useful for policy makers to do that? So there are a lot of challenges, of course, and there are a lot of questions that we discussed. I come from the stem cell and developmental biology field as training, and we had many challenges of fast-moving fields like human genome editing attempts or cloning, and the field came together also to draw a red line where give themselves a sort of moratorium. We shouldn't go beyond a certain stage until we reach a level of understanding or consensus of what can or cannot be done. And I'm just maybe controversially putting that for discussion on how we can have a buy-in general of what are the questions that need to be answered before we, do damage further. And thank you very much for having me here.